So back working on the Goldwing. As I said in the last video, I had a problem with it not going into neutral easy. It was like the clutch wasn't disengaging all the way. So some of you guys in the comment said check the slave cylinder for the clutch, which is up under the bike. And I got it removed up under here. And looking at it, it don't, kind of hard to see. It don't appear that it's been leaking. Kind of looks like it's kind of out pretty far. It did have a little corrosion around it, so I'm wondering if the piston is kind of sticking and not moving out far enough. But I pulled the clutch rod out. Here it is here. This is the part that goes in the slave cylinder. I mean, it's got a little dimple wear. I mean, that's probably normal. It don't look like it's got any grooves or anything. It's got a little bit there. That goes into the slave cylinder. So what I was going to do, I was going to spray that down with some brake cleaner real good. And I might even just take my small C-clamp and put in front of it and kind of work it in and out. I don't know if it's supposed to be in further than that, back up inside the housing when it's hard to see when it's not being pushed out. Clean it up a little bit. And what I was going to do also to make it push out further, I thought about taking a ball bearing. I took this ball bearing, I cut it open. I got one of, where did it come from? I got one of the balls out of it. And I was looking at maybe putting this ball bearing up inside of the slave cylinder where it rests against this rod. I mean, I don't know, that might be too much. Maybe that'll force it out there a little bit more. Then I found this little acorn nut. I thought about shaving it down some because it's kind of taller than the ball bearing. Shaving it down some. I tried to open this one up. I was going to open up, but these balls are like the size of a BB, which might be better. I don't want it to be so tight that it's slipping the clutch, but just that little extra push. Maybe that clutch has got a little wear in it. Somebody was riding it, and it just needs that little extra push to separate those clutch plates so it can go into neutral. So I might go ahead and cut this one open. See how small those ball bearings is. I'm pretty sure they're about the size of a BB. But I might just try to, if I can get this bigger one in there and it goes back in like it's supposed to, we'll try the bigger one, then we'll go with the small one. How's that? So I'm going to try putting this in there, get the slave cylinder back in the engine, and we'll see how that works. So I went ahead and cut this smaller bearing open, and there's the smaller ball bearing there. So I'm going to try it first. You can see the difference in that one and this one. So I think I'm going to try the smaller one first. I don't want to put too much strain on that clutch. Let's see what the smaller one does, and then we'll go with the bigger one. How that sound? So we got parts in today for the old Goldwing. We got a new front tire. That is a 130/70/18. We got a new starter solenoid, because that one that I got on to start acting up. It was a guy on eBay that was parting out a beautiful bike. I don't know why he's parting it out, but I got the clutch master cylinder, slave cylinder, and all the bolts and stuff. And then this big box is a trunk, because this trunk here has the hole cut in it for the speakers, and I'm gonna replace that trunk. I don't know how hard it's gonna be to put that thing on because all the lights and stuff. I think it's like 3 sections, I think. But I'm gonna put some more speakers down there, but up here I just want to do away with that. Kind of looks goofy. I'm working on a deal with another guy about seats. That one's torn, could get it upholstered, but the price that it costs to get it upholstered, you can find a set of seats way cheaper. I mean, by the time you buy the cover and get somebody to do it. So anyway, I'm gonna try to get this starter solenoid on there, and then get this clutch master. I think I'm just gonna, well, mine's the screws are stripped out. One of them is, and you got this hose clamp holding it. I might as well just change the whole thing. I don't know, does that one got the switches on it? Yeah. Yeah, it's got the switches. What I might do first is just put the slave cylinder on there and make sure the clutch disengaged right. To put it in neutral. And then, because I don't think there's nothing wrong with the master cylinder. It's just you got that clamp on there. But hopefully that fixes it where when I come up to a stop I can put it in neutral easy and the clutch is not steady. Staying engaged a little bit where the bike wants to roll. So we'll take care of that first, then we'll worry about this luggage compartment thing. So another rainy day in the M town. I'm a little under the weather, but got the Goldwing sit there, 1500. Got a bunch of parts all over there's a bunch of parts, and in this box here it's a bunch of parts. And reached out to a guy on Marketplace, and he was parked out of Goldwing, and got a real good deal on a bunch of stuff. Just arrived today, and I'll show you once I cut myself. Show you what we got. And this guy's parked out one because he's dealing with some kind of dune buggy or something, and he didn't need all this stuff. So we got this whole box of stuff for $45, including shipping. So we got the radio. That radio alone is $150 off of eBay. We got the radio with the console. We got the back driver's seat. I mean, everything's in there. Got the speaker covers with the armrest. Look at that. With the speakers. That's the upper part of the back seat. A little stitched up, but it's got tear, but hey, $45 for everything. Here's the rear armrest. What is that? That's the little Goldwing. What's this thing do? Volume control or something? Where the key switch goes. But he basically just loaded up everything. These rear compartments. Because mine is missing the covers. Just the covers alone are like $50 off eBay. We got a seat. Let's see if we can dig all this out first. There's one. I don't see the cover to it. It's probably in there. Yeah, there's the other cover. Not broken. I think he was going to take them off, and then I told him just sell me the whole assembly so he won't break it. That's for the rear seat. Oh. This is the front seat. It's in pretty decent shape. I mean, 45 bucks. This seat on eBay is at least $200 for a good seat. $200 to $300. I've seen some higher than that. So that's a good seat. The armrest. Those are the side grab bars. And the other speaker. And some bolts. So we got all that for 45 bucks plus shipping. Shipping was like $50. So $100 and something. I got all of this, and that was a deal. So soon I'll be putting all this on. Once we get the bike over here, start working on it. So, like I was saying, we'll get all this stuff on the bike. He was going to keep the wire harness because he needed it. So I'm not going to be able to hook up the original radio. I'm still figuring out if I'm going to try and run that radio. He said he wasn't for sure if it worked. But anyway, I got it. So, but the seat was what I'm mainly worried about because this seat is torn. I mean, it'll cost me about probably $200 to $300 to get this seat reupholstered. That's how you buy material, or the upholstery shop has it material. So I would just put the factory seat back on. That's a nice comfortable seat, but I rather have just the factory seat. So what do I say here? So there it is. More Goldwing parts. What a deal. Back with the 1990 Honda Goldwing 1500 SE. So I have been collecting parts for this thing to replace some of the damaged stuff. Like I said, I got the new seat, a whole box of accessories. I got a new front tire. We got new speakers for it. Even though I'm going to take this box off and get rid of it. I got a brand new Bluetooth radio and waterproof speakers. We'll try and adapt that in this spot here where the other guy had a radio. I'm going to try and put it in here and make it look better than that. Now I do have, like I was showing, I do have an original radio, but it's not a cassette radio. So I could just run the Bluetooth off of it, but the problem was I don't have the wire harness for it, and all these wires are cut. So I could run one of those stereo transmitter things that you put in a cigarette lighter and just tune the radio to the station. But I think I'm just going to go with the newer style radio. Try and do something better than this. Put the radio in there somehow. I don't know yet. But I got the radio so cheap off of that jungle place with the speakers. So be worth a shot. But right now I'm supposed to get this front tire off of here, because if you watch the last video of this bike, I showed that it's got a big knot in it. And I'm going to try and change it myself. Motorcycle shops, they want anywhere from $100 to $100 and something maybe to change the tire. Then I got tools. I got the new tire. I'm trying to change it myself, save some bucks. And then we're going to move on to getting this luggage compartment off, get that situated, get the waterproof speakers in there, and I got to put all this side panel and stuff back on. And yeah, so basically I'm going to get this thing road ready. I'm ready to ride. I had this thing for a couple months, just only rode around the block a couple times, and I've done quite a bit to it. So still got some broken plastics. I can't find any that color. I can find some other colors, but then I had to get it painted and all that. So it's got a few pieces that's cracked. I think I got this piece here for this vent. So anyway, I'm going to home bringing, of course. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing back together so I can make some trips on around town or something. Ooh, man. So let me get this tire off here. So I picked up this motorcycle jack off of the old marketplace, you know, the place where you can find anything and everything. Picked it up pretty cheap. The lady said it's only been used a couple times. I don't know what they used it for. Transmission, you can use it for transmissions, whatever. But anyway, it works, and I'm going to use it to jack up the Goldwing so I can get the front tire off the ground, make it easy to work on. So I forgot what I even paid for the thing. I think I gave, I want to say $80. You can get one brand new from Hobo Freight. I think 100 and something, close to 200. But it works. It don't seem like it leaks. So what I paid for it, hey. So anyway, I'm gonna get that thing up under there, get it jacked up, and get this front tire off. All right. So that jack works pretty doggone good on these bikes. I had to get it up under there where it was going to go across the bottom of the frame, and it is on there. It's not going anywhere. I put these jack stands up under there just for more stability. So front tire is off the ground. You don't need to be that high. You probably can see that little bubble in it. There it is. Right there. That's a doozer there. That right there take you down. I mean, the whole tire is just lumpy right in the middle. I don't know if he put too much air in it or something. I don't know what he was doing with this tire, but look at that. That is like somebody hit it with their fist. So now I just got to get all these covers off and get the axle bolt out, and hopefully I don't have to jack it up any. I mean, I can jack it up as high as I need to, because it's got to come away from under that fender, but I believe just pull the axle out and it should roll right out of there. Alright, so I don't know if you guys ever done this, but if you got a bumper vise, you can use it to break a motorcycle tire off of the bead. The only thing I did was turn it sideways in my trailer hitch. Rolled the tire up there, cranked it down, and it's already done broke the bead. But I can just turn the tire all the way around and yep. Just trying to get a good angle on that thing there. Just crank it down. It should be off on that end. Probably can just actually push against it. But no, we'll just turn it. And you probably can stick your tire tool in there too, while you got it like that. You want to make sure you don't scratch the rim. You get it broke down, you can get it off of there. I was just thinking, there it goes, it popped on that side. I don't know if you heard it or not. There it is. So we good on that side over there. Let me get it out of here. I'm gonna wash the rim anyway. See, it's popped right here. There we go. Good way to break a motorcycle bead. Or you can run it over with a car, but you have to be careful because you don't want to run over the rim. But I'm gonna pop this other side. That side should have been already off. Let's see. It might not pop on that side. Slap the vise out a little bit. If I lock the vise down, it really helps. It's almost off there. Stick like a pry bar or something in there. Don't want to scratch the rim. This is a hammer. One side's broke. Shouldn't be hard for this side. Oh. Yeah, this side here is a booger, but it's broke loose on the other side. Got somebody doing the yard today. Right when I want to film outside. what it is, the other side broke loose, so the tire just kind of folded in. It should pop off there in a minute. There it goes, I think it did break down. Oh yeah. I think we broke loose. Alright, so I got this side broke loose. I'm going to show you what I did. I had to take a little small piece of wood, put it against the rim, so this side of the vise won't be smushing in on the side that's already broke down. And put this side of the vise on the tire, and she is broke down. So now the only thing we got to do is just get it off the rim and put the new tire on. Easy to be, as if you got a vise, at least that's on a trailer hitch on the back of your truck or van or whatever. Well, you might can do it on your table vise. You just have to hold the tire up there. So I'm thinking I can probably, I don't know if I can do it like this. Really need to put a rag there or something. I was thinking maybe that could hold the tire while I pry it off of here. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. You have to and I want to scratch the rim, scratch it a little bit. Won't be able to see it though. See if we can get a scratch it on the upper part where the bead goes. I'm thinking probably get it off right here. It's gonna be a fighter though. I had to go get my other pry bar. At least I could have pulled it in the shade. It's too much like right. Probably have to get some vice grips and put on there. Let's see here. I think I'm just fighting. So before I put the new tire on, I decided to go ahead and clean this rim up because it had all that brake dust and stuff on it. So I've been soaking it down with some of this heavy duty wheel cleaner. You can get this from an auto parts store. Who is it made by? Gritty's Garage. Gritty's Garage, I guess that's how you say it. But you spray it on there until it turns purple, and then you take you like a soft brush or something and brush off the excess and then spray it off with a water hose. So I didn't want to get it, you can do it with the tire on there, but I didn't want to get it on the new tire. I mean, it don't matter, but I figured while I got it off, it's easy to handle, and then I put the new tire on. I basically already been scrubbing on this side here. You can see what difference it is. It's actually got some gold in the middle of the spokes, which I didn't know that they were so black. So you see how it turns purple? When you spray it on there, it's clear, and then it turns purple. So I'm going to spray it off with a water hose and scrub the other side, and should be almost good as new. And the only thing I used was, again, soft brush. This is like some triple O steel wool you can get from Harbor Freight or Walmart, just steel wool. And I don't get the nothing but the really fine kind, because you don't get the fine steel wool, it'll scratch your chrome and aluminum. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray that off, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Well, you can see it came out clean. Just spraying it down and using that aluminum wheel cleaner. Still got a little bit more to do on it, but it's way better than what it was. So I'm going to do a little bit more scrubbing on it, and then we'll go ahead and put the tire on. Make sure y'all put some towels in this wheel bearing, so you won't get no oil or nothing, or water really, or chemicals in your wheel bearing, and I think you'll be alright. So I'm gonna polish it up a little bit more. I got a little bit more to get off. That brake dust was really stuck on there, and yeah, it'll be clean. As you can see, that took forever to get this tire on there. But I got it on there, kind of scratched the rim just a little bit on the edges. Not nothing major, I mean, you ain't gonna notice it anyway. I mean, it had some nicks already in it from somebody else who had changed the tire. So I'm gonna put just a little bead sealer around, if I can. Probably don't even have to. I think it's gonna seal right up. I was gonna put some on there first, but I figured I'd make a mess. So Mike can just spray a little lubricant. That'll help the tire jump back up there on the bead. Or we can just spray some soapy water. She should air up. But that took a while. I wouldn't recommend doing a rear tire. The rear tire is a lot bigger and wider. I mean, front tire would be alright, but rear tire, I don't know about that. But saves me a couple bucks just to do it myself. I had to take the valve still now. One thing I hate about airing up motorcycle tires. Hope I don't have to put a ratchet strap around it. Leave it in that one spot. She's gonna be a nightmare to air up. Real nightmare. Might have to get a ratchet strap and go around the tire. Probably what I'm gonna do. Just go around the tire real good. And that'll help it air up. Find a ratchet strap somewhere. Alright, I got a ratchet strap. Hopefully this will work. It's kind of a jacked up way of doing it. But I have done it in the past and it worked. Just aggravate and hit the strap when you need it. It's got to be in the center of the tire. little ratcheting. Seen it come up. I don't want the air all the way up and pop that ratchet strap to take me out. I think it'll come up now. Let's try it without it, because I seen the bead moving. I don't know what that was. I was like, oh, it's trying to come up. I'm gonna have to take the valve stem back out because it allows more air. The thing about it is getting stuck. Where's the valve stem to it? There it is. I need one of those straight I'm just gonna let it go this time. There you go. Got that side popped. Time I was airing up one, it popped on the bead and it broke the ratchet strap. Still off on this side, but I think we can get it done. And there you have it. Brand new tire on the rim. Get it back on the bike. That's 35. I have to look it up and see what the pressure should be. The 35 is where it's at now. But it's on there nice and even. And nice new tread. Got the direction right. You want to make sure your arrow is going in the rotation. It has an arrow, I don't know if y'all can see, it's kind of dark. It says rotation on front use only. So your arrow is going to be going in the rotation of your tire. So with the speedometer being on the left hand side of the bike, when you're going, the arrow is supposed to be going in that direction. It's a directional tire. A lot of car tires are directional tires. It repels the rain, the water on the street and everything. And so I'm gonna get it back on the bike and move on to another project on it. At least that's done. Now it's routed. Alright, so front tire is on. I went ahead and ordered some new brake pads for the front and the rear. Those front pads are really low, and I just went ahead and stuck it all back together. At least I can ride it. It won't be here for the next couple of days, so still got enough pad to ride on. So what I'm looking at now is changing this tour luggage box, because the guy had really cut some holes for some 6x9 speakers, and I don't know if he cut them or he just busted a hole and then took some pliers and made the holes bigger. But I don't like having all those speakers. I mean, it looks crappy. The side ones I'm gonna leave, but the ones up there, I don't like that. So in this box here, I've been holding on to it for a couple weeks. Never even opened it. This is a tool box, luggage box or whatever, tool pack, rear luggage. It's not brand new, but it's one I bought off guy on eBay, and I've never seen it. I think it's a gold color. I couldn't find one the exact same color. This is a mess. Man, he's got it packed pretty good. It's supposed to be two parts in here. It's supposed to be the cover that goes around the reverse lever. He packed this really nice. I've never had it out the box. I've had it probably a month now. I was saving it. What's the other parts in there? This one is this one's gold. It almost matches the gold on there, but this is the closest one I can find and the cheapest one I can find, and it don't have any holes cut in it for 6x9s. It's got pinstripe, but I don't know, we'll just see how it looks on and get it on there. But like I say, it's a gold color. It almost matches that. I don't think that's gold. It's like a champagne color. But oh well, we'll put it on there, see how it looks. If not, we can always try and get it painted. These things are pretty pricey. I got this one on a real good deal, and they're kind of hard to find. But I couldn't find one with the silver. But so we got that part, and then what is this? Some kind of Suncoast Psycho Sports. Thank you. Packaged with care at Suncoast. And it was packaged right. So look up Suncoast on eBay. We got a lot of parts. This right here, I don't know if I can open it. Back sit y'all down for a minute. Hold please. Yeah, he packaged it with care, alright. But this is the vent cover that goes around. Man, he's really packaged. Goes around reversely, but it looks like there's some extra chewage. But you can't see it anyway. I guess that's, but it actually goes there. So this one broke right there. So that's gonna go there, and this operates the vent that lets air through. This thing has got like a cool air system. So as the air comes in, you open those vents and it blows, supposed to blow cool air. Because a lot of blockage going on, but that's where that goes. It's got the wood grain on it though, but then again, these are hard to find. So I got a good package deal on both pieces, and he shipped them both to me. So that's going to be going on. Those two pieces there will be going on the bike, especially this tour pack luggage thing. And I got to remove the rear seat housing, undo these tail lights, which he's got something. Oh, it's got an LED strip right here. So he's got that rigged up. We'll undo that and get this off of there. Put the Goldwing thing. Well, I guess it will have the silver part. Wait a minute. Something missing. We got the lock, we got the screws. So this is just the Goldwing thing that's off of it, the emblem. Well, it still have the silver top. So anyway, we'll get that on there. And I got some other goodies that I'm gonna try and make work. I don't know if I showed it already. Yeah, I did. We got the waterproof radio speakers. So we're putting the waterproof 6x9s, marine 6x9s in here. I think they came with covers, so we'll take those off because I don't think those match. That says Memphis, like Memphis Audio. And this one says Pioneer. Actually, it's got a mismatch. Here's the other Memphis up here. There's a Pioneer. And then the Pioneer here. What was the deal with that? And the way you open these side boxes, you pull these little levers. Have to do it with two hands. And the side box is open. It's got 3 levers. The one in the center is for the rear toolbox, and then you got your left and right. So we'll get those in. So yeah, that's going to be next, is to get that situated and then try and hook the radio up and the speakers and put all this stuff back on and clean it up a little bit. And I still haven't got the gas hand and the coolant hand to work, so I'm probably taking this off to see if it's power going up there. I know I got power going to the temperature switch and the temperature sensor, and the cooling fan works, and I think there's power going to the sending unit. I can't remember, but need to get that to working. And it's just odds and ends stuff, but all in all, the bike runs really good. Just needs to be cleaned up again. I had it clean, but it's been sitting for like a month. So anyway, I will get started on removing this and get that on, and we'll go from there. Alright, as you can see, I got this thing stripped down. The only thing that's left is to get this side light or side marker off, and these nuts won't come off. The whole stud inside of there is turning. This is actually the other side here. So those studs are pressed into the plastic and they're stripped. So wish I would have known that before, because the guy I bought all the other stuff from probably has that. So the only way I'm gonna be able to get that out is either to cut those or destroy this box, which I didn't want to destroy it anymore because I could probably sell it to somebody who wants some 6x9s on their side here with the holes already chewed out. The only, like I said, the only way I can do that is cut around here and cut around there, but if I get it relieved from the plastic, those nuts will come off of there. But the only thing holding it is just these 3 screws. One of them is missing. The box is just sitting on there. So here's the little compartments on the side, which I'm replacing those anyway because the snaps for the little covers is broken. So that's basically it. I'm gonna figure out how to get these lights out of there, and then we'll be able to put this box on there, put everything back on. So get to work on that. So I got it off of there. What I did was just heated up this plastic with this hand torch here. Got the plastic real hot right there, and just pulled on the light, and it just popped right out of there. So should be able to get those nuts off of there. Might have to clamp some small vice grips on there, and then take the ratchet and spin them off. And the hose are still good. It's got a little burnt spot on the inside. It really hurt the outside, so this is still worth selling. Or is it? I don't know. So in case you're wondering how one of these 1500s look with no rear luggage compartment, here you go. A lot of relays and boxes and wires and ooh, I don't even know what half this stuff is for. Control unit. I guess that's the reverse control unit for the reverse motor. I don't know what that is. Got a voltage regulator. And these cables here, they operate these side boxes, but I found out that it's got a switch right here you can push. I guess in case that cable breaks. Push that, because there's this little plastic thing on that rod right there. That's what the cable operates off of to pull this rod. This side doesn't have one. The cable was just hanging there. It don't have the little plastic thing that hooks on the rod. So you can manually open these doors. I guess you have to reach up under the saddlebag, or you might can reach through the box. I think that's what these holes are for. This one's got a rubber plug. Just pop the rubber plug out and push down on the switch and it opens up. So found that out. So I guess that's the air pump. It's got an eyeglass. And I did find the manual rear air cylinder here. I mean valve, where you can air up the rear shocks. Didn't know that was in there. So now it's time to get this box on there and fold it down. Jump around Oops. Like so. Not too shabby. I mean, hey, it's a Goldwing, old Goldwing. I think once we get the silver stuff on there, that gold probably won't stand out that much. But we won't know until we get that on there, which might be able to if it don't fall off. This thing is pretty heavy. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. With the silver top now, if we had the gold top, it'd probably throw it off. But that ain't too bad. I think it's alright. It looks better than having this big old speaker hose cut. So I'm going to go ahead and get all this stuff bolted back on and move on to putting all the covers and stuff back on there and the radio and all that stuff. So back to work. Alright, so finally got the luggage compartment on. We got the trunk lid on. All the lights are working. So now I'm going to install these 6x9 speakers. These are Marine Rockville 6x9 two-way speakers, 500 watts a piece. And the guards are actually made to them. 500 watts. So I'll be putting these on each side. And what I did, I got the wires figured out on the speakers, at least the rear. I kind of went through these with the voltmeter and figured out which wire goes to each speaker in the rear and the hot and ground. So I'll be ready to figure out how I'm going to do the radio and hook it all up. So I'm going to go ahead and get started getting these speakers in the side cover, and just want to y'all take a glance at that. Got all that hooked up, and I don't know if I'm going to change this backrest yet though, but I'm going to get all this tore off and figure out some way to get that radio in there nice and neat. I'm still working on the Goldwing. I finally got the back luggage compartment on without the big old holes cut in it, and I went ahead and installed the Marine 6x9 speakers, and I did away with a lot of wiring that he had, and I added some, but it's the right gauge wire and I know where everything goes now. I also put the Marine style radio in here, and got it hooked up. I'm going to make a bracket to hold it down to the saddlebag. Key is on. Forgot how to turn it on. There it goes. This is a Bluetooth radio, so it'll connect to my phone, and I can control the volume and everything, because I usually listen to YouTube music, free music, so I don't really listen to the radio. I don't need an antenna. I mean, I can hook up the antenna, just run the antenna wire down through the hole that was already pre-drilled. But with that being in there, nobody don't know that it has aftermarket radio, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the factory radio, which I found, you know, I got one, up in the center console. It won't be hooked up. And this is the one he had in there. He just gutted it and had a radio shoved in there. But I'm gonna put that in the center console, which is here. And people be like, man, that old radio still work? I'll be like, yep. Even though it won't be lit up. But so yeah, got the radio, some wiring straightened out to the best I could. Fixed to put brake pads front and rear, which I got those. And that's going to be really it for now. Just kind of clean it up some. Eventually I'm going to repaint those valve covers. I'll probably just take them off of there and paint them a black or silver, probably aluminum. They painted them black, but I think they did it with like some cheap spray paint. They didn't use an engine paint because that gets really hot. So yeah, that's it. Like I said, I'm just constantly working on it, trying to get it cleaned up and ready to ride. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing installed, get that center console on, get all the side covers on, and then do the brakes, and should be ready to hit the street. So changing the front brake pads on the Goldwing, and found these are almost down to the metal. There's nothing left really, almost. So he's been riding the brakes pretty hard. So I picked up these, just a generic set of pads. I know you Goldwing guys out there, oh, you gotta use Honda Pacific pads. Yeah, I know, but I just want to ride this thing for a couple days just to see how good it runs and everything. I have never rode it really far, so I just want to get it out and ride it, and then I can easily get the Honda brake pads or get some EBCs and put on it. But right now I got these the same day, so I figure I'll go ahead and actually not the same day, but the next day I figure I'd go ahead and throw them on there because it was kind of short notice. Because when I did the front tire, I noticed the pads were wore out. And I called myself was going to do it that same day or next day, and I got tired of doing something else, so I'm kind of stuck with them. But I'll put them on there. But the back pads, you got to take this saddlebag off just to get to the caliper. And I don't know why Honda, what they should have did was I'm gonna open this. Open this with one hand. I don't know why with Honda they got this little hole here where you can bleed the brakes from right here. You see the caliper. But why they just didn't make a compartment that unbolted where you can get to the caliper and take it off and do your brake pads? Instead, they just got that hole there where you can bleed the brakes. I mean, I'll rather have it where you can do both, bleed and replace pads. But the same with the fronts, it needs backs, because I don't know if you can see up under there, maybe. Get to the caliper. It's kind of hard on the service stand, but the pistons are out, and it's just like the front. It's barely enough pad left, so I'm not gonna ride very far. So that'll be another day to pull that saddlebag off, replace the pads. Maybe by then I have some real good quality pads. Matter of fact, I'm just going to put the real good quality pads on the back. That way I won't have to take all that back off. But you look at these pistons, they're almost out. So it barely had any front brakes. And I don't know why they just didn't put much pad on these brakes anyway than what they are. I don't know if the more expensive brands got more pad on it, because that piston will go back pretty far. But basically got the tools out to do it. Got an impact driver, some Allen sockets and stuff, so you can get the caliper off of the fork. And the pads are held in by these pins, so you have to take these little caps out, which go in the hose first, and then you get to these pins that hold your pads. And then I'm going to take a C clamp with the old pad and press the pistons back in, and or you can use one of those brake caliper tools. Luckily, the master cylinder screws wasn't stripped, so I got the cap off, so when I push back on those pistons, it won't have a lot of pressure built up in the system. That could mess up the master cylinder. So if you're doing brakes, even on your car, I would suggest get you some rags. If you're gonna push those calipers back, take your master cylinder top off, so that way you won't be pushing against the piston in your caliper and in your master cylinder and mess up your brakes. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the new brake pads in on both sides. These got to be done. Like I say, I'll do the back ones another day, because I gotta tear all that stuff off on this side. Like I say, I don't know why Honda just didn't put some kind of access hole in that luggage compartment where you can get to the caliper. I mean, I'm sure somebody took like a Dremel or some kind of saw and sawed a big hole in that compartment and filled it in with something after they got done. I thought about that, but I don't want to damage the compartment doing that. So I guess I'll just be ripping it off, fixing that. But anyway, got it all together. So she's ready to ride. So I'm gonna go ahead and fix these front brakes and get it out on the road, just kind of neighborhood streets, just regular streets, nothing major. And yeah, so got this on with the fake radio that don't work. Well, it's the radio, but it don't work. Got this on. I don't know what this is. I gotta look it up. The guy I got it from had this battery gauge. He had this battery meter rigged up here. So I got this and all the stuff I bought from the guy who was stripping one down. It don't work. I think it's a volume control. I don't know what it does. Maybe one of y'all know. Leave a comment. I probably found out by then. We got all that on looking stock. Got the new seat on. Got to put the armrest, not armrest, but the grab bars on. And then one day I'm gonna repaint these valve covers. These look like they painted with some cheap dollar store paint, and it just started flaking off. So I'm gonna get some high temp engine paint and paint those. But the old girl looking good though. So I'm go ahead and get these brakes fixed and get this thing on the open road for a nice little ride. Alright, so I finally got this saddlebag off of here, a luggage bag, a luggage box. Finally got it off, and down to the caliper. There's a bunch of bolts, unhook some wires, and it is off. It's just got this bracket it sits on. Didn't want to spend time videoing it because I didn't know exactly where it came off, and so it's off. So anyway, you can see them pistons is way out there, and it's got some pad left on it, but we'll compare them with the new ones. But those pistons are way out there, so I don't know if it's the same thickness as the new ones or what, but I just know it don't have any rear brakes. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this caliper off, and we'll get the pads out there and compare them and hopefully get back brakes on this thing. So those are the new brake pads, and they are no thicker than the old ones. You can see the difference here, I guess. I don't know why they make brake pads that thin for a motorcycle. I guess so they can wear out quick and then you changing them again. But these still have some meat left on them. That's one side. So that rotor is not that thick. Maybe they should have had made the caliper width a little smaller, so when they wear down, the pistons don't come all the way out. So I'm gonna put the caliper back on, and hopefully I got some brakes. I'm trying to bleed it all out too. So I finally got the temperature gauge, fuel gauge set up for the Goldwing, and let's open it. I ordered it off of eBay, and trying to get and God said it worked. It was removed from a running bike. So hopefully this one fixes my gauge cluster, where I have a temperature gauge, fuel gauge, and I'm not really worried about the center indicator. It just got a clock up there. Wrapped it nicely though. That's what I'm talking about. I got a feeling I'll get a knife. I like the eBay tape. I guess you can order that. It's very sticky. Let's see what we got. He wrapped that real nice. Oh yeah. Handle with care. So there's the fuel gauge, the temperature gauge, and the center clock indicator. It's got the circuit board. I don't see any broken wires. So I'm gonna have to take the bike back apart again, up on the dash, to install all that. I really hate to, but that's what you gotta do to fix stuff. I had all that off at first, and I checked all the wire. It did have power going to the gauge cluster, which is this brown and black wire. That's your 12 volts going to your temperature gauge and your fuel gauge. It had power going there, but neither one of them worked. So I don't know if it's in this circuit board that's bad, or the gauge itself, which you can take the gauges off. It's got some Phillips head screws. But I'm going to put the whole thing in there. I'm not going to waste my time and then mess up the new part. So you got to take this cover off here that goes around the cluster. You got to take all this stuff off here because there's some screws. And you got to take the mirrors off. And once you get the mirrors off and get these covers off here, actually I'm going to pull the whole center console, and this cover comes off and you're right there at the gauge cluster. I think it's 4 screws that holds it in the bike, then you have to flip it over and take it apart. So hopefully that fixes my problem. I can see what the temperature is, see how much gas I got, and because I've checked everything else on the bike, the fuses, the relays, everything seems to be getting power. So it's just gotta be this gauge cluster right here. Something in there is not working right. I even took the side covers off and checked the temperature sensors, and the fans work. So the electronic part, other than the gauges, is working. So anyway, I'm gonna get started stripping that down and see what that does. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it works, because other than that, I'll be just guessing how much gas, which is no problem because the gas tank is here, up under here. But the temp gauge, that's a scary situation. You always want to know if you want to know what your temperature is on anything that's water cooled, except it's like a dirt bike. But street bikes definitely, because you sit around idle a lot in traffic, your thermostat can stick, your fans can stop working, and then next thing you know, it's just a big cloud of smoke and antifreeze pouring out because you don't know what the temperature is. So let's get to it. Alright, so we got the gauge cluster here. We're gonna break it down and change out this temperature, gas gauge, and I guess that's the clock. See how bad it is. I think this little knob right here has got to come off. What is that? Hopefully I can get into it this way. So there's the old one right here. So look like it's screwed in from the front. Well, what's on the back? And then I know it. What was that? Oh, one of the little indicator things popped out. I think I better put this back on before I lose something in the back. I gotta put the little red indicator back in. It's got a harness on the back, so I guess it's got to pull through the front. We'll just stick that in there for now. I don't want to lose nothing. So this is the harness. Sucker don't want to come unplugged. So take it. It's one part of the harness, and this is. I think it's only got one harness on it. Actually, I think it's got two because it's got the black one. We'll be able to tell once we get it out. So let's take this off. Man, if you drop those screws in there, you're basically all done. Really need a magnet. Looks like to me that harness do I have to take the whole thing apart? It's got some little rubber things that holds that face on there. Uh-oh. I broke that. I don't know what that little rubber thing's for. I guess it's so it won't vibrate. But I can't get this out of there. This is not going to be fun. Let me look at the new one. The new one's got screw hole here, here, here. Oh, there's some more screws up under there. Oh, I see them. They're actually up under the face of the gauge cluster. But how would I get that out? I want the screws. Somehow I know these little glass things is gonna fall off. Let me get a magnet. Should have a magnet somewhere. Ah, here it is. So we won't lose the screws. Somehow the face has got to come out. I think I see it. I think it's these two screws right here on the back. I can bring some light in. So it's got two. Whoa, Mr. Light. It's got two long screws. That should pull this out. This is one more. I don't see. I don't see anymore. They didn't make this thing exactly easy to. Look like it's one more screw. Might be this one. Plug. I don't know what that was for, but the face won't come out of there. It's hung up somewhere. I can't move it to the side. I really need to get to that. I really need to get to that other the screws down there. I don't see any more. Unless these two screws here hold it. At least they got green and yellow stamped on the plastic. I think that's what it is. You gotta completely take this thing apart. There we go. So it's got some long screws, and then on the back of it, it's got these green and yellow and L, Y and L, light blue. Should be Y and B. So actually the whole thing comes out. So you got So I got that one out. I already got that one out. So I got to remove the speedometer side now. Oh man, I didn't know it was going to take all this. Look like it's just two screws, and the speedometer will come out. There's the speedometer. We'll just lay that to the side because that's connected to something. It's connecting something on the back side. I already went through before and put some bulbs and everything. And this harness has got to come. I guess I'm gonna have to unplug that speedometer because I gotta get that harness out. Got a little trap door. I think that's the last screws. Still ain't coming out of there for some reason. It's a harness or something's got it. I wonder, can I unhook the speedometer? Oh, it's got a plug on it. Oh, okay. Just undo the plug. Take the little rubber cap out. Alright, speedometer's out. You gotta completely gut this thing. There's the wire harnesses. Something is holding it though. Just holding it in there. It's only 3 screws. But it won't come out. Oh, I see what it is. There's another harness hooked to it. Goodness. Supposed to be 3 harnesses, looking at the other one. There it goes. I hope all this is well worth it. It's a time-consuming job. Ah, it's out. I didn't have to remove all those screws. So now we can stick this one back in there. So you really have to gut this whole thing. We got too many plugs going through one slot. We'll worry about plugging everything up once we get it all back together. Then I can flip it over. One thing about this one, it's got a black face where the temperature gauge and the gas hand is, and the other one's got a white face. Good there. Now we just got to put the screws back in. All of them the same. It's way a lot cheaper than buying the whole gauge cluster. The whole gauge cluster is like $300 to $400, and then you won't have the right mileage unless you just put your gauges over in there. Stupid screw don't come off the magnet. See that? Put the screw on there with the, put the screw on side of the screwdriver with the magnet. I mean, put the screw on. So my GoPro died on me and I had to go get another battery, but the only thing I'm doing now is basically just putting this thing back together. Just putting all the gauges back in. I sure hope this fixes my problem, because like I said, it's a lot to have to go through to get the gauges working. You have to break down this thing, but we'll soon find out, won't we? So I got to put those screws back in the back side. Really not a bad job, it's just time consuming here. Make sure you get those screws tight, because there's a lot of vibration going on. This little plug goes. I had a little clamp on there. We'll worry about that after. Get all the wires hooked up on the back side. Right now I'm more concerned with getting the gauges back in where they're supposed to go and get it buttoned up. A lot of screws you got to take out. Ooh, that would have been bad. Wire was almost smushed in with the screw, with the washer. So alrighty. So gauge clusters in. All the screws. It's in. So I got to get that little lens that fell off. Those. Is it that way? I don't know why that one's turned that way and the rest of them are. Got some dirt on there. Let's wipe those off. That way the lights will be nice and clear and get all the best I can. I think it's just mainly where the gauge cover don't go all the way down. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this on because this is worrying me here. I don't want nothing to fall out. I think I cleaned this up last time. I had this cover off checking the wires before I actually ordered the gauge cluster. I mean, yeah, the temperature hand and nope, that don't go there. Oh yeah, they do. Before I had ordered the temperature gauge and gas gauge cluster, I had took this apart to check connections. I think somebody had been in it because one of the tabs were broken. So somebody had been in it. I guess they were trying to figure out why the gas gauge and stuff didn't work. So all that's safe. So let's flip it over and put these wires back where they're supposed to go. Put all this stuff back. This little connector here. One through there. Plug right there. First time ever doing this. this little that comes out like that. Then this little trap door. And then this little screw. Oh. And then there was that little cap looking thing. Yes, sir. Just to ensure that the gauge is still working, I let it sit for a while, and voila, they're still working. So if you got a Goldwing and your temp gauge and your gas gauge is not working, and you have checked everything, wiring to the gauge cluster, you checked your relays, you check your fuses, you check your sensors, more than likely it's going to be your gauge cluster for the center. Even if you don't have power going to the sending unit, it's still going to be something about the power goes through the gas gauge and it feeds back to the sending unit. So that's one thing to check. And if it is, if it ain't, it's going to be that center gauge cluster. So here's the air filter. Just got a couple of screws. You pull this cover off while you got the center console out, and just look at it. That thing is filthy. Probably never been changed, and if it has been changed, it probably was way back. And I did find that here's the coolant reservoir bottle. Of course, it's empty. You can stick the top in there, get nothing. So I put some coolant in that. But I got a new air filter from Big Bikes Plus. Fits Honda GL1500 Goldwing, 88 through 2000. Kind of looks like a K&N air filter, but it's not. And look at that. This thing don't breathe like never breathed before with that little stopped up air filter. Trying to get this plastic off. Brand spanking new. So I guess we need to carefully remove this one. Got something right there. I don't want that to fall in the carburetors. There's the carburetors there. I think there's a drain screw that comes off the airbox. You're supposed to drain the excess, I guess, oil out. Like if you got a little blow by or something. So I need to take that cover off, drain it, but that right? Nope, that's wrong. There we go. Nice new air filter. Put the top back on, hook this up. This goes to the back of the air filter box. Put some coolant in it and start buttoning it back up. Alright, so I got the Goldwing tore back down again. I don't know if you ever noticed in some of the videos, or first video, or first part of this video, somebody had painted the valve covers black. I think originally from the factory there was this copper color, because this is the SE model. And so somebody had painted them black, but I don't think they used the right type of paint. And it started peeling off and it was looking real bad. I guess the copper started peeling off of it, because you can see some spots where I got the paint sanded off. And then somebody just kind of painted them black, and throughout the heat cycles and stuff, the paint started just flaking. So it was really an eyesore if you look at the bike from the side. So what I did was got off as much of that black paint I could, roughened it up real good, cleaned it with some acetone, and I was gonna pull the valve covers off, but I was like, then I'm gonna have to get valve cover gaskets and probably start a leak. So I just decided just to take the side panels off, the crash bars on each side, and clean the valve covers up and shoot it with some engine paint. So I always use the duple color high temp engine paint, even on cars, motorcycles, because it really sticks once it heats up. But this side you can really see how the copper was just flaking off really bad. So I just went ahead and just sanded it all off. I'm gonna paint the screws too. They're kind of, the chrome is kind of, not shiny anymore. So I'm just going to paint that. I'm going to take this off over here, the valve cover. I mean, not the valve, the timing cover. And just try and get as much good paint on as I can. I mean, with the crash bars on there, you're only going to see, I think like this half of the valve cover. Then you got the side cover. The big side cover covers like the top part of the valve cover anyway. So the only thing you're really going to see is just this front and the back side. So just kind of spiff it up a little bit, make it look better, and hopefully that sticks. I'm not going to primer it. They got engine primer, which I got some. I don't know. I haven't thought that far yet. If I'm going to primer it and then engine paint it black, the gloss black. So if I do, that'll just help it stick more, or I might just shoot it with a couple coats of engine paint and let it roll, because those valve covers, they get pretty warm. So you need some good high temp paint to stick. I don't know if I think they might have did it with automotive paint. And it just didn't, like I said, they didn't prep it right, or it wasn't high temp automotive paint, I guess. But it was just curling up. So I'm gonna go ahead and see what I got. If I got some engine primer, I spray it on there. Like I said, you get that primer, unless you get black. But if you get that gray primer and you're just trying to cover up something, the overspray of that gray gets everywhere. Then you gotta get it all off. So, but I'll see what I can come up with. So I did have some gray engine primer. It says it withstands heat up to 500 degrees. Ideal for engine blocks and accessories, resistant to oil and fluids. So just kind of sprayed some on there the best I could. Didn't want to get overspray everywhere. I mean, it's not going to be a show bike paint job, but like I say, just decent, because that paint that was on there that was flaking off, and then you can kind of see the copper look. It was where the copper was peeling to. It didn't look right. So we'll let that dry for a while, and then we'll get the black paint on there and put her back together and see how she looks. Alright, here it is, the 1998 Goldwing 1500, finally together, finally ready to hit these streets. I did do a little test run with it. That was before I had got the brakes fixed and the gas gauge and the temperature gauge, and it was kind of scary riding it with barely no brakes, but she does run good. Okay, it's showing. We got the new gauge cluster in, all that works. We got the radio, custom console here for the radio. One of mine over at Superior Street Customs designed this console here. That was in there where the radio used to be, where the guy I got it from had butchered it and had something stuck in there. But anyway, this is customized. Got the new front speakers. We got the new rear marine speakers on the back. What else we did to it? We painted the valve cover gaskets. We got the Goldwing highway pegs. So this bike has really had a lot done to it to bring it back to where it's presentable now. Got new front tire, new brakes all the way around. We changed out the seat. I didn't change out the upper seat because the upper seat I got, the stitches is busted up here. Somebody tried to stitch it up. So we'll just leave that for now. What else did we do to it? New alternator. I mean, you can go back and look at the video, the first video, when we had to put alternator straight out the wiring. Climbs right up. Sounds like a car when it's running. Got the LED lights on it. Well, they were already on there, but I had to hook them up. Got these little running lights that change colors in the front. Got the remote. I think the battery went dead. I was playing with it, and one side went out. It's kind of weird how this thing works. That would be like police lights there. I don't know why, but this light over here will come on sometimes it won't. I don't know. This remote turns on one side and the other side. But anyway, we'll figure that out. I think this remote is pretty much batteries used are dead. Sometimes you can turn them off, and sometimes you can't. Oh well, we'll play with that. That's another story. Boat gauge from up there where he had it at down on the side over here. So, got a couple more lights to hook up. This brake light, I think here doesn't work. I got to figure that out. We got a bulb out there. Just a little bit more stuff, but it is roadworthy. So, tank gauge working, gas gauge working, great. So it's time to ride it now. So we'll get this thing out on the road, cruising around town, enjoy it. It's what I want to do. All that hard work pays off. I mean, a lot of hard work, but anyhow, let's do some riding with this thing. Alright, so I finally got the lights to come on at the same time. I think they got water in them. The bulbs are not really secure in those globes, so I just kind of blew them out with the air hose and tapped on them, and they both came on, so we'll leave them blue. You go messing with stuff sometimes, and that's when you start having problems. Right, flick of a switch, and she's got LEDs all the way around. So cool. Time to ride, like I said. Okay, so as you might have heard me in the video, when I did that last test run, the clutch started slipping. So I'm tired of fooling with that clutch. I've done everything to it. I put another master cylinder on it. I kind of put a little small check ball down where the push rod is to make the master cylinder push the push rod further. That worked for a little bit, and now the clutch is just slipping really bad. So I'm going to go ahead and tear the clutch down, replace the clutch plates and the clutch springs. I mean, it's really not hard to do. I've only seen one video on YouTube, a guy doing a clutch job on one of these bikes. It involves in pulling the alternator off, the clutch master cylinder, and there's a big cover on the back side of the motor you can pull off. You gotta have a special tool to hold the clutch basket, and actually he made one, but I went ahead and ordered the clutch for it and the tool and the clutch springs. Other than that, the bike runs good. I don't know if it just was hot outside the day I rode it. I did let it sit there and idle for a long time while I was doing something else, but that shouldn't have nothing to do with it. The clutch has been giving me problem on this bike ever since I've had it. I kind of rigged it up. It worked a couple rides, and then now it's just slipping bad. So that's gonna be it on the 98 Goldwing right now. Like I say, I'm gonna get to that clutch problem and make a video of it. Hopefully between my video and his video, it'll help somebody else out with their clutch issue. There might be another video out there, but I did a lot of looking up on YouTube, and I only found one guy that knows how to do it, and he did it. I think he's over in Brazil, I think. And he made a tool and everything to get the clutch basket out and everything. So that's gonna be it for right now on it. It does still run. Did a lot of work to it. It's in way better shape than what it was when I first got it. So I'll call it a win. I think after I do the clutch on it, that'll be the last thing this bike needs. It's just that clutch, and should be able to ride it and really enjoy it. So y'all have a good weekend and everything that's coming up, and we'll holler at y'all later. Don't forget to share, subscribe, hit that like button. There's more to come.